rejection. Drop the clutch, pedal to the floor. Turn that giddy button to a lion's roar. Dream machine, racing queen. I'll take you wherever you wanna go. Let's slow this down, break the speed of sound. Tonight we own the road. Dream machine, racing queen. You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Dream machine, racing queen. You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Red on the highway. Flashing behind me. Dream machine, racing queen. You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Dream machine, racing queen. You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Dream machine, racing queen. You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Red on the highway. Blue lights flashing behind me. Dream machine, racing queen. You make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. I'm just calling to say
Good evening, race fans, and welcome in. It is a very special event indeed. Absolute pleasure to be here. My name is John Wright, aka Double O Raven, and I'm going to be here taking us through all the action for the man, the myth, the legend that is Chris. The Gob shouldn't finish that this time of night. Gedman, he has been an absolute stalwart in FRL since I believe just before the Bible was written. He might have even been at the Last Supper, judging by the hairline. We will definitely not have a full comedy roast of him tonight. As we crack on through the team action, and it's around his favourite track. It is going to be 2 hours. I did think it was 90 minutes. It's 2 hours, however long it is. Let's have some fun. It's going to be fixed at midday weather, and there will be driver of the day rewards as well, post-race votes. On tiered drivers that attend. Of course, there's 3 tiers of drivers within each team, and it is 2 teams we see before us. It's Team Gedman and Team Gogs. who I was cheering on. I mean, I know it's Gedman's party, but it would be a bit tacky if he won it, surely. So we're all cheering on Team Gogs. What do we think? Give us a shout in the chat. Let us know which way you want to go. Let's jump out on track because they're already out in qualifying. Oh, and look at that. We've been away that long. The controller's disconnected. There we go. Exit, there we go. Okay. Do let me know how the game volume is. It is working slightly differently at the moment. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, let's pop up to there. Let me know how that is. Of course, slight restrictions on how we do things on console, but that will not slow down the drivers, that is for sure. Let's see Vermeulen already up there at the top of the table. That does seem very quiet to me for some reason. Apologies. It's not showing. Aha. Correctly on my audio. We do love audio when you're doing broadcasts. Said absolutely no broadcaster ever. Look at this. It's top 3 for Team Gedman at the moment. Vermeulen's Desire and Grace. Although a big gap there for Vermeulen. He is clearly going to be a key player in the race today for Team Gedman. He's landed a very good one there. Of course, the red drivers, they are Team Gedman, the grey. That is Team Gogs. At the minute, though, team captains, it is Mr. Brown that is leading the way out with the two of them. He's got his Lamborghini into the top 10. Gedman at the moment down in 25th position. He's in the Porsche. That's an interesting choice. That is an interesting choice. As I say, we've got a 2-hour race, so we're going to see pit stops coming in. Mandatory refueling, but then they're going to need to take on fuel for a 2-hour race anyway, let's face it, and it doesn't matter what type of track temperature you've got. At Bathurst, you're taking on a set of tyres for that as well, so we'll probably see a big old 50-50 split. 3 PM race start. There is a little bit of cloud cover, so the track temperature shouldn't get too astronomically high. We'll see how the tyres do it, and we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if we're seeing the teams working together. Wow, look at that. For anyone that isn't aware, the teams were drawn randomly on wheels last night on YouTube. You can actually go back and watch that. The two team captains were on. There's three categories of driver in each team. And at the moment, we've got, 2.5 minutes left to go qualifying. You would have to say it's Team Gedman. I mean, he was the one spinning the wheels. I mean, what I like, it's a quick bunch of drivers he's managed to get himself. They've got the top 5 spots at the minute. Oh no, they don't. Slade coming firing back, pulling the first Mustang into the top 10. Only 2 in the top 5. Oh, and there we go, out of the first corner, bang. That is game over. Nice recovery, but there'll be no lap time ahead after that. Thankfully nobody's racing, so there won't be any yellow. There will be yellow flags, but nothing to worry about. Fiddler across the line doesn't improve. We have got 31 drivers out tonight. Now, we did have 30, and it was 16 for Gedman and 14 for Gogs. It's now 17 for Gedman. So Gedman, 17-14 to the good. He has improved as well, actually. No pressure at all. Let's leave it on him for the closing lap. Where is he? 22nd at the minute, 3.6 seconds off the pace. He's coming along this very long bottom straight. This has only changed the track's ever had. They added this chicane to the right because when you go straight on it, it's a severe hump and you can't actually clear that on Irish. Now, you used to be able to. and cars were landing in the grounds of the hotel, which you see, yeah, there, just on the right hand side. So yeah, the chase chicane popped in at the end to stop cars ending up in hotel property. As you do, and that's 22nd place, so he has gone quicker. He's got time for another one as well. Share the tyres in the window. Still no further encroachments into the top 5 for Team Gogs. He's going to have to do some serious team talking in the pits before the race. Yeah, what do we think as well? Who, again, team, give us your thoughts. What do we think team-wise the drivers are going to do? They're going to work together as a team. I mean, those 4 up at the front, they could very easily hold those 4 positions, bring Ossel into it. It's going to be a tough night at the office. Oh, and Vidler does encroach. There we go, smack bang in the middle of the top 4 Gedman drivers. Vidler in the Ferrari. 3 Ferraris up in the front row. The next 2, 8th and 9th, are both into the pits. Team captain Brown in 12th, Gedman in 21st. Oh, and he's into the wall. Lamborghini down for Brown, and that is straight back to the pits. Our other team captain, he's still out on the track. Now, you know what? That is names I can't remember. It'll come to me. Yeah, 2 TV presenters. Once I get them both, we'll crack that joke again. At the moment, he is flying along the bottom straight once again. It's his last time on the Conrod before he has to take his position in the pits and get fueled up for the race. I'm sure it is going to just be one mandatory pit stop. I'm not sure we'll see anybody try. Will we see a 2-stopper? Probably not. Probably not. Gedman across the line. Doesn't go any quicker, but does hold on to 21st place. Postal is still coming down the mountain. Oh no, he's on a checkered flag. Slade is in the pits. I don't think we've got anyone else. Nope, everyone. Oh no, there we go. Gunning in the Bentley. For Gunning. Oh, and Els is it down at the back of the field as well. He's still out running. Oh, and he crosses the line. Goes 18th. So that's Gedman down to 22nd. Oh, a nice little group of 4 cars there. We'll see how that plays out, and we'll have a look at the timings. That was easy for me to say. Vermeulen with a clean sweep and a 1.2 second gap up at the front of the field. There's only 200s between 2nd and 3rd. That is absolutely wild. Desire did get overtaken by Wazzer. That is why Vidler is now down into 4th position. Gedman, yeah, down into 22nd. Brown held on to 4th. Brown held on to 12th because 4th was taken by Vidler, who was overtaken by someone already in the top 5. But Slade now 6th place, so we've got 2 of Team Gogs in the front 3 rows, and then it's 1 each again on 7th and 8th with Austell and Van der Waal, and some very close times there. You can see we've actually got Slade and Austell set exactly the same time in qualifying. Vidler and Grace only half a tenth apart in their times, and it continues that trend down the field. As we can see, Blaish and FaZe set in exactly at the same time as well. Only 3 thousandths between Steve and Christie. 600ths between Christie and Sharp. Down at the back of the grid as well, there's only half a tenth, less than half a tenth between Wheats and Warrior down at 20th and 21st. The slowest driver on the field is Trotman. Oh, there's me at the bottom. The slowest driver on the field is at the bottom. It's me. Trotman didn't set a time. Hovart down at the back of the grid. I'm not sure that was an entirely representative time. And Els with a 206. A fair bit of ballast applied across the field. It's 17v4. Its qualifying is at an end. Let's go back to here. There we go. Quick reminder: it is Chris Gedman's 1K races milestone. Over 1,000 races. That's a lot of time spent behind the wheel, and he does a lot more as well, as anybody in FRL for any amount of time will already know. He rolls his sleeves up and gets stuck in as well. So great to see him being recognised for what he's doing, for what he's done for the community. And I tell you what, I don't imagine it'll be long before we hit 2,000 as well. There's 21 drivers, up to 21 drivers in his team. We've got 17v14 tonight. Tonight it is a 2-hour race, completely open strategy, so no mandatory pit stop, but there will be mandatory fuel, which is just a button tick to be fair. What a sad man he actually is. Because yeah, you're not doing 2 hours in these cars on one tank of fuel, quite frankly. So yeah, the cars are going to be very heavy at a couple of points in the race. It is fixed midday weather. Patrons were allowed first refusal, and there will be driver of the day rewards, post-race votes on the tiered drivers that have attended. So as I say, the splits were decided last night in the 3 categories, and then put into the teams. Team Gedman definitely looks like they got the lion's share. I mean, front 3 positions in qualifying, it's not too bad, although it's all about what you can do in the race, I suppose. Oh, now, sorry, it does say open strategy there, but they do have 2 mandatory pit stops to take. So it will be a 2-stop race. Yeah, so that pretty much breaks it down very nicely. We'll see, yeah, we could still see a big shake-up in some of the strategies, what they do with those 2 pit stops when we go for a much longer first stint, or do 3 even stints. I mean, I would personally be inclined to do the 3 even stints, just because it keeps the average weight of the car down. Get your lap times in. Anyone in the chat with any thoughts? At least with him not practicing, his hours might be 600 hours. Well, we'll see how he does here tonight. He picked this track. I mean, it is a phenomenal track for racing, let's face it. You cannot beat a good old race around Bathurst, and 2 hours, a good race time as well. So plenty for the drivers to get stuck into. Certainly going to be plenty for us to get stuck into. That is for sure. And we are just about ready, I believe, to get ourselves on a warm-up lap. So let's jump on down. Unless the drivers squeal their brakes warm. Not that they'll need to too much, because it is still 32 degrees with a bit of cloud cover. But let's go see what they're up to down on track. There we go. So we are live for this one special event. Make sure I don't hit drive. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good to see the liveries as well. Where is Vermeulen? He is right up at the front of the field. We've got one person cheering on Team Purple. Is that it? We've only got one jumping on the team bandwagon. Who else have we got? Who else are we cheering on? We're cheering on drivers as well. Anyone due to drive tonight not being able to make it? And what are everyone's thoughts on Bathurst? Is Els in the pits? No. Cameraman just taking an ace to catch up, is he? He's clearly just had his Sunday dinner, taking his time. We'll keep an eye on Gedman in the Porsche. Will he go full Haas on the opening lap and stick it in the barrier? You never know, you never know. He's hopefully listening to the broadcast, so we can maybe crack enough jokes to put him off a wee bit. Just, you know what I mean? It's like I say, it's his event. He's got some quick drivers up at the front. If he does well, it's just really a liberty. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's ego on the man. Outrageous, outrageous. His team captains qualify the good 9 positions ahead of him. And he does have a bit of a rear and front gunner there. Pospisil, who's no slouch in the Audi, and Bleich in the BMW. They've got Popov pretty much surrounded there, but then they do have another 4 of Gedman's goons behind them. There we go. Gedman's goons versus Brown's bad boys. Oh yeah, throwing my hat in the ring early. Don't know why, but that's what we're going with. Yeah, so Brown's bad boys, he'll be leading a little charge there, but it is looking pretty good for them. Certainly for Gedman, as I say, up in that top 10. 6 of the top 10, all repping the same colours as Gedman. It'll be interesting to see what they do along the Conrod Straight. I mean, yeah, turn 1 is always fun. Turn 2 for me, turn 2 and 3, that's really where the action unfolds. It's kind of like the second chicane at Monza. Everyone that survives the first chicane takes a quick sigh of relief, and yeah, that's just, it's not quick enough when you find yourself making contact, off in the wall, off in the sand, having a spin, all kinds. A plethora of options, unpleasant options, are available to you. Should you get yourself a bit overexcited and too lackadaisical into certain corners, and I would say Quarry Bend is definitely one. That little kink to the right as well, so many times I've seen incidents, the little kink to the right on Quarry Bend, just before you get to Quarry Bend. Drivers on the inside often don't account enough for that, and it leaves the driver on the outside with 1 wheel, if not 2, or it's sometimes better to have 2 wheels on the grass. Because 1 will really mess up the traction and the rotation of the car. At least with 2, you know you're going for a spin. We're coming round at Murray's Corner. Let's see how many we got out of the pitch. I think everyone did make their way out. Yes, they did. So yeah, some really interesting battles that we'll see down at the back. Like, well, look at that. There's 2 for Brown, 2 for Gedman, then 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, then 4, and that's the group that Brown is involved in. But here we go. It's 2 hours. It's the mountain that bites back. And it is a Ferrari and a Bentley on the front row, and it's foot down, it's flat out, and it is flying into turn number 1 for both of them, and the Bentley's right out on that outside line. Might find himself coming under a bit of pressure from Desir, because he's going to have to put him under pressure, or Vidler is going to look to take that position. We've got everyone through absolutely beautifully, as you would expect. We've got a bit of side-by-side going on. I believe that is Slade and Grace, the cameraman, will keep up. Oh, and the Bentley having a big look around the outside into Quarry Bend. Everyone's breathed that sigh of relief that they're all going to make it through at turn number 2. They do indeed. Up the hill we go with Vermeulen, still got the lead. Wazzer in second, Desir in third place. Here comes Vidler, Grace, Slade, Ossel, Van der Waal, and it's going to go absolutely wild as they all go through the first timing belt. So everyone gets a shot in the lead. You get the lead, you get the lead, you get the lead. Gedman gets a shot in the lead. Smed's got a double shot in the lead. Let's see where everyone eventually ends up. And confirmation, Vermeulen, Wazzer, Desir from Vidler, Grace in 5th place, Slade, Ossel, Van der Waal, Pospisil, Postel at 9th and 10th, and then it is Brown up to 11th position. Lamborghini making a good move with Bleich following him through. Face is the driver that finds himself down at 13th as they head down the hill. A beautiful corner section, so easy to get right, so easy to get wrong, so satisfying when you get it right, that is for sure. Here comes Pop-Up and Gunning down the hill. It looks like we've had a good start. Holvert has picked up a bit of damage. He's dropped down the field. So is Garbino. Trotman then making up a couple of places. So too L. So a bit of chopping and changing with the teams down at the back of the grid. Still incredibly close up at the front though, although not quite as close as it was last time around. Let's see Wazzer still chasing hard with Desert and Vidler not far behind. It's Grace though, who's looking the closest out of anybody in the top 5. Could be looking for a move sooner rather than later. That Audi and a missile. It's not bad in a straight line. Bit of a beast. Slow speed through corners, so you'll never catch me behind the wheel of one. But if you can tame it, absolutely fill thy booties. Here comes the Nissan GTR, which is the official way to announce it. Oh, and Blaze coming into the pits. Blaze coming into the pits. Ooh. Doesn't look to be carrying any damage, so I wonder. Didn't maybe came out on. Accidentally came out on qualifying fuel. I mean, it does seem a bit early. Honestly, he's just trying to find some clear air. Oh, he's been followed in as well. Someone else has come in the pits, so that's Gerbino and Blash. Both coming in the pits at the end of lap number 2. Neither of them look to be carrying any damage unless I've missed some in there. And it was a pretty quick stop as well. No sign of a drive-through or anything on the tower, so not penalty again. If anybody's got any clues as to what's going on there, do we think that's a strategy call? It's certainly an interesting point in the race to bring it in. Up at the front, absolutely. Going to struggle to take my eyes off this for a few laps, I would say. Also, the battle with Brown, look at this. Team leader getting absolutely stuck in the Lambo. He's up to 10th position. Where is Gedders? He's up to 17th, in fact. 12th to 10th, you say? Gedman said, hold my Sunday roast. Let's get ourselves up to 17th. That is a very, very, very good start for the post driver. He is now completely surrounded by Brown's boys. Oh yeah, there's the Mrs. Brown's boys reference we could do as well. I'm liking this, I'm liking this. Let's see which of the team leaders can gain the most positions over the race. That'd be an interesting little battle to see as well, because they've started, as we can see, in different positions. Brown looking very close to Postal, and there'll be no love lost here. Postal on the other team for this one. If Brown can get past, you'll have Pospisil and Van der Waal. They could mount a good charge here because they've both got Austell firmly in their sights. Not so firmly in the sights of Wazzer anymore. Vermeulen is a second up the road. He's breaking the slipstream, and so too is Wazzer though on Desert. That is a 1 second gap they've accrued with Grace and Vidler. A combined 3 seconds behind, so the real battles are starting to merge in the mid part, or just outside, just inside the top 10. Sorry, what was that? 6 or 7 drivers faced now in 11th position, and they've got Popoff and Steve not far behind. Gedman is 17th. Brown still in 10th, so he is still right in the middle of this here, and he's got fights in that McLaren. Absolutely all over his rear spoiler at the minute. 1.3 down is Popoff, bringing Steve with him. Where is Get? He's actually catching on at the back of this battle as well. So this is a battle effectively from 6th position down to 18th. There's Tierney in 18th. I think he's just lost a bit of time up the hill actually, because he was within half a second of Gedman not so long ago. That's more than half a second. I would say. So what is that now? 6th place. Yeah, there we go. Austell, Van der Waal. Oh, and that's a big look from Pospisil. He really got brave on the brakes in that Audi there. The Ferrari had to go full defensive. That was Van der Waal on the defence. Brown within 8/10 on the exit, and in the slipstream he will be. Can he get the move done on Pospisil through the chase chicane? We're only a couple of laps into this, and we are absolutely going for it. Oh, now I tell you what, that's gone completely the other way. Postle has absolutely blitzed him out of that last corner. Absolutely blitzed him. Brown has had to go full defensive from face there. Popoff closing in on that one. Van der Waal, look at this battle still up at the front. The gap's still going the way of Vermeulen. It's now up to 1.3 and 1.4 between first, second and third respectively. Oh, that is close out of the first corner again. More drivers coming into the pits. Doesn't look like Christie's got any damage, but he is in. Trotman in and out as well, and there we go. A slight technical failure. Oh no, there we go. Thank you very much, Elgato. It's not like you're a ridiculously expensive PCIe capture card, thank you. Yeah, cracking on after that, like slight heart attack there. Trotman out with the pits, Christie. He's still in there, so that is a reasonably lengthy stop there. Not sure what difference 8 minutes makes to the tank, but we'll see what the drivers manage to pull off strategy-wise. We'll stick with the battle, I would say. In fact, Brown, a bit of a gap now to him and Pospisil, Van der Waal and Ostel is still in 6th position in the Nissan. Van der Waal, as I've just run down there, Van der Waal, Pospisil and Postel, very much with him. It's now Brown. Oh, and he's stationary. Brown is completely stationary. That is some kind of technical failure there, surely. I'm not even sure he'll mind being called surely at this point in the race. That is going to be a huge drop down the order. I have no idea what happened there. Unfortunately, the replay function on console is not the best. So again, if anyone's got a teammate in the race or knows if anyone else is streaming and can tell us what's happened there, we're going to have to wait a second and see. He's definitely... Oh, and that's a big hit behind him as well. We'll find out who that is behind him in a moment. He's surely not only in 13th air. Oh, and there's more boards going along the back straight. Along the bottom straight, there is advertising boardings absolutely smashed. So someone has been out and into the wall, as we confirm that Brown is in 22nd. And I believe that was Els, who's had a decent start to the race, up 7 positions. Oh no, that's Els coming through. Tierney's coming through. Who is that? It's very good when the cars are all the same colour. Brown getting himself off the track, but trying to figure out who is who, not always the easiest. That's another car coming out the pits. Christie is in. It looks like there's an Audi in there. No surprise Brown is coming in. If anyone has an idea who that other McLaren was. Oh, it was FaZe, of course it was. Wow, so he's down to 25th and in the pits. And that's Brown just coming in now. He's carrying damage as well. That is the cat amongst the pigeons, and we're only just reaching 10 minutes into the race. Vermeulen will be blissfully unaware of what's going on. I mean, he won't be in a moment. As soon as he goes along that bottom straight, he's going to see the carnage with the advertised hoardings. He's 2.7 seconds ahead of Wazzer, who's within 8/10 of Desire. So the final 2 positions in the podium still very much in contention. Postel within 8/10 and keeping a close eye on him. Popov is now within wheat, so a couple of the battles are, quite a few of the battles changing here. Gunning now chasing down Warrior. That's Bentley v Aston Martin, battle of the Brits. With Smeets within half a second. That's a McLaren in there as well. In fact, that is quite the gaggle of British cars in there. It's been a while since we've seen, well, certainly it's been a while since I've seen grids like this. And then we've got a solid group of Team Brown. They're coming along the Conrod straight, and in fact, Els, FaZe and Brown are still in the pits. So those are lengthy repairs that they're getting done. Oh, and Hovart's carrying damage in his BMW. Gerbino, well, looks like he's repaired. Trotman's still running. And so is Christie. Hopefully these drivers are going to get themselves back out of the pits. So as I say, we've got more of the drivers heading through. That is a potential overtake attempt by Slade on Lemon. Team on team action. And I think, he has. He's got it done there, Lemon, I think. Just letting him through. He is going to run the slipstream from him for a lap or 2. Or maybe he's going to go for it in turn number 1. Let's see, does he try to cut back? No, he just follows. His teammate through turn number 1, I mean Vermeulen, he has got this absolutely nailed on at the minute. His only real concern at the minute is going to be blue flag traffic, which he's going to be catching up to very, very, very soon indeed. In fact, he's got 2 cars that are battling for position. Just ahead of him on track. Let me see if we can just jump through the field and find them. They must be down, is it? Okay, it is I think, see, this sometimes throws you under the bus with the car numbers. It merges them. There is no car 19. Oh, yes, there is, sorry. So there you go, it's Garbino. So Garbino and Hovart in the BMW, they've just swapped positions. Hovart's carrying damage, so that's the cars our race leader is going to be coming up to, and that's why I'm saying he's going to be coming up to them very quickly. Oh, we've got a yellow flag up the mountain. Sorry, bear with me a moment. My glasses have gone walkies. What car number is that? 93. Whoever it is, they're still stationary. Oh, was there in the pits? Was there in the pits 13 minutes in? Now, did he have an incident there? Car 93, Lemon it was that was stationary. Now, he's not carrying much damage, actually. So I wonder if he's had a spin coming down through Skyline and just ended up running off the road and having to wait to get back on again, because certainly no damage on his car. All the chopping and changing, Gedman having to take avoiding action on multiple occasions. He's carrying damage as well, actually. So the front of his car, he's been involved in something as well. Bathurst, I did say in the opening, it is the mountain that bites back, and it bites back quite undiscriminately. So Gedman, he brings his car into the pits 14 minutes in. Barnett is in as well, and so, as we saw too, is Wazzer. That means that Vermeulen has now got himself an 8.3 second lead. Absolutely wild. Although given his qualifying time, it's not really a massive surprise. He just needed to get a good breakaway at the start on that opening lap, and that's exactly what he did. And the game plan since then, keep it clean, quick and consistent, and he has got a very, very, very good balance of that rocking at the minute, and that is why he's got the gap that he's got. He is approaching that traffic. I think he is past the forlorn BMW of Hovart. So that one should have been traversed by now, I believe, and we will stay on board with this battle here still. Involved in 6th position, have caught up to 5th, and they're still hanging on there with Postal in 7th that we are on board with. The 3rd driver in the equation, and I do always say it's the 3rd driver that is best positioned, and especially if you're the 3rd driver and the driver leading this little train is on your team. Team colours will be getting waved, we'll see. If Austell can in some way engineer, because let's face it, it's not bad for him either if he's got one of his own teammates behind and let him do the defending. Yeah, let him worry about it, absolutely. That way it very much becomes someone else's problem. He can far more clearly concentrate on what he's got going on apex by apex, rather than apex, what's happening behind, apex, what's happening behind. Let Postel worry about that. Coming into Quarry Bend, it's a good run once again by Austell, but to the Ferrari of Van der Waal. And I tell you, Van der Waal, he'll be grateful in a minute that it is another Ferrari behind him. Good all-round cars. But when it comes to that ultimate top-end pace, there is quite a few cars quicker. It is safe to say, even in the slipstream. It's absolutely wild, especially on PC. Some of the even on the Dottinger straight, it's absolutely wild, the difference. It moves out with the slipstream and it dies a death. Dies a death. Like driving into a brick wall straight away. So yeah, he will be grateful. He has got himself a Ferrari chasing him down. More cars into the pits. That's Lemon coming in from 20th position. Wazzer has been in. He'll take that spot back. Garbino should get a spot back here as well. And so too Barnett. Hovart. He is staying out. He's carrying the damage. So he is fully committed to sticking to whatever strategy it was he had at the start of the race. Gedman and Brown have swapped positions out of the pits. To be fair, they swapped beforehand when Brown got himself involved in an incident, of which we did not catch again. The replay function not so great, unfortunately, on the console. Gedman back out in 25th position. And this is when it really does turn it into an endurance race, because we are going to have very little idea where some of these drivers are actually going to finish until about an hour and 20 minutes until we get through a second round of pit stops. Very close there. Indeed, with quite a few of the cars still racing away. Ostel, Van der Waal and Postel, they've just gone past Hovart as well, so that gives you an idea how much further up the road Vermeulen is. In fact, there he is. They're just going through the cutting and heading towards the parks. Ostel and the gang just heading in to Quarry Bend. Desire and Grace as well, both definitely worthy of a mention in these opening 18 minutes, given what we've seen going on around them. Absolute head down, full concentration. Any praise that we throw the way of Vermeulen, certainly we would throw it their way too as well. Maybe not quite got the pace of Vermeulen, but certainly the clean and the consistent. Absolutely on point. Let's face it, they're quick as well still. Just because you're getting beat by this much by Vermeulen, it does not in any way, shape or form mean that you yourself are slow. He is very quick. Very quick indeed. He's been here a while too. Let's see what's going on here. Steve is 6 seconds down. Van der Waal dropping down a bit on Ostel. So that top end speed that the Ferrari lacks, the Nissan more than makes up for. And that is what is getting him. Although over the mountain, you would think it would be, I would think it would be in the hands of the Ferrari, being the more nimble through the corner. The Nissan's one of those cars, if you get it right, it really is a car that will do well for you, but it is not easy to get it right. I'd say it's easier to drive a bobsled through a very wet Bathurst. But that would just be a skill issue at my end, I would say. Warrior and Blyce, of course, in the pits early as well, was running up in the top 10. He is the lead driver that's taken a pit stop at this stage. And he has got an unpitted driver in Warrior behind him. Then it is Pospisil, so that gives you a good idea of how Blyce has done since that early stop. But is it too early? Is there going to need to be another couple of stops? No, Lemon and Hobart, as because Hobart has finally come into the pits 20 minutes in. I mean, that is still very much a doable strategy. 45 minutes from here, an hour. 45 to 50 minutes, back into the pits, do another 50 minutes, spot on. Brown is back in. Now we do wonder, his car does look repaired, but this is very much as much of a simulator as they can make it, so sometimes the repair is simply ripping off parts of the carbon fibre bits and bobs, as we say north of the border. Ripping off some of the bits and bobs on the front. Which, yeah, doesn't make the car drivable in any way, shape or form, especially if it's only one side of the car. I did say years ago, what was it, somewhere along the lines of, yeah, these cars are held together with fairy dust, hopes and dreams. Not many of those, or none of those in fact, survive first contact with a concrete wall or indeed an Armco barrier. So, yeah, that could be the case for Brown. Maybe he's just smashing in 2 pit stops, although there's no way he's getting an hour and 39 out of a petrol tank, so that one's right out the window. Trotman in for his first. Christie still in, gone a few laps down. So been in the pits a while. Hovart's still in, unsurprisingly. That looked like a fair bit of damage. His tyres are going to be absolutely cooked. Blyce and Warrior still battling for 17th. We've got a 3-way battle with Slade, Felix and Silva. None of these drivers so far taken their pit stop, running 13th through 15th. Up at the front, Postel, Van der Waal and Ostel getting close once again. So Ostel not able to take a massive advantage with the top end speed that he's got in the Nissan at the moment. He's getting up to a second, but they're reeling him right back in again. So yeah, Van der Waal inadvertently, I mean, he's got no choice really, but he is helping Postel keep up with him and keep up with the teammate ahead with what he's doing. He's going to need to get something done over the mountain though if he's going to make this happen. Clearly not going to get it done along any of these straights. Yeah, the Nissan absolutely flying. Look at the gap he pulls up. We really need to be able to get live gaps on console. It really does do a disservice to the drivers. It would be nice to see what their actual corner exits are like. And actual time wise, I mean, you can physically see, of course. Brown's still in. Christie in, Trotman in, Blyce is back in as well. This is his second. Oh, he's carrying more damage. Blyce is carrying more damage. He has had another. He's definitely made contact with the wall. There's been a wall involved someplace. You can see some scrapes, and the front bonnet no longer aligned with that front section. There is a car coming out of the pits. Oh, it's Christie. There we go. Oh, now I wonder if it's some kind of technical issue Christie's had. Or maybe just life's got in the way. The little one's jumped out of bed and won't get back in, so he's had to jump out of the rig. It won't be the first time it's happened in sim racing, and it absolutely will not be the last. That is for sure. But whatever it is, Christie looks like he's sorted it, and he is back out on track. Good to see. Van der Waal and Postel. They are still battling away, and Van der Waal could get himself a teammate very, very soon, as Postel has a big look up the inside there. From that angle, it looked like a look up the inside. To be fair, he maybe would have been better staying in the slipstream that little bit longer. Although, again, staying in the slipstream that bit longer, it does make it a very different front end into the braking zone and into the pits. It is Van der Waal. He's had enough of this little battle. He's coming in. That's 23 minutes gone. So yeah, some early pit stops from quite a few of the drivers. I did wonder if we'd see, I did say we'll see a shake-up. I never, for whatever reason, it never really occurred to me, or I don't think I said anything about starting with a shorter stint at the start, but not a bad, I mean, certainly not a bad idea. Start with 20 minutes of fuel, get the car as light as possible, to try and get as much out of it as you can in that opening stint. And see where you can get to. He's going to come right back out in traffic. Of course, the one we want to watch is Pospisil. Now, he's already coming around the last corner, and he is ahead of Wazzer. Oh, Wazzer in the pits. So Wazzer's in the pits, and he's already had a pit stop. Oh, of course, yeah, from earlier. Sorry, there's so much going on right through the field, trying to keep track of everything. It's fun times. L's in the pits as well, and Trotman's got a drive-through. Trotman has got his BMW at a drive-through. That's going to drop him down, because there's confirmation that Christie is out on track. There is Blyce, there's Pospisil. Van der Waal is out just ahead of Pospisil. Look how close it is between these two. They've got no pitted drivers ahead of them, so it is Pospisil who has got the... Oh no, sorry, it's Van der Waal. Van der Waal has stayed out ahead, but only just. Only just, so the different strategies, it's brought these two, or kept these two very, very, very close together. Now, does Postel and Ostel... did he? Whoa, and that's a bit of a wiggle there from Ostel out with the chase chicane. Hopefully the Ferrari's not planning on coming into the pits this time around. The Ferrari gets himself in. Do you think that'll change over again? Given the pace difference, it is definitely going to be a better idea for them as teammates to have that Nissan in front. Because this really could be a make or break point in the race for them. If they can work together well enough, because the drivers that they're currently fighting with don't have any slipstream along the Conrod Straight or on the way into Quarry Bend, and that can make a massive difference to how the rest of the stint goes. So these two staying out and staying this close to one another has worked absolutely perfectly, but I do think if we stay on board, we're going to see the Nissan, ooh, just clipped the wall there, be handed the position again by Postel. It is surely the sensible thing to do. I'm calling everyone Shirley tonight. Let's go. Well, yeah, I would definitely say the Nissan. Whoa, and he's had a bit of a wiggle there, going through the parks. Oh, now was he carrying a bit more pace than Postel was, and that's thrown him off. There's a blue flag just ahead of him as well. In fact, the blue flag, is that brown? No, it's not. No, that's not a Lamborghini. That is a Mustang, and it's Barnett in 21st position. Trotman's in serving his drive-through. Wazzer is still in the pits. Els has completed his pit stops. He's 2 laps down, and we've got an hour and 30 minutes to go, so he is going to need another pit stop. Vermeulen. Oh, now he's carrying damage. Oh, we need to get a replay function or a working, sorry, a working. Be careful what you wish for. We've got a replay function. It just doesn't work. A working replay function on the PS5. That is for Mullen. Carrying a fair old chunk of damage, and Desire takes the lead in the race with grace, following him around the first corner and into Quarry Bend. And here comes Vidler. So they're all about to be promoted as soon as they cross the line. For Mullen, he's got a bit of damage. I tell you what, Postle, he's got past as well. Here comes Austell, here comes Steve, Wheats, Popov, Gunning, Slade. Where is Van der Waal and Pospisil? Because that is the really interesting question. How close is he going to be to drivers that have already taken a pit stop, of course? And they are coming round the coming through the final chicane now. And Vermeulen is back out, so that is a fairly quick turnaround to get that damage repaired. He is back out. I'm not sure. He's in fourth. There we go. They did make it through. Oh no, sorry, that's Postel and Austell. The drivers I was interested in was Van der Waal. They're coming into turn number 1. Pospisil just down the road. And that is Van der Waal with a teammate ahead of him, whose car I do recognise. It's Lemon in 23rd place. So pulls his teammate along, gets himself out of the way, so good separation there. But Vermeulen, and yep, he's dropped down further. He is back out in 9th place. Oh, he's got a race on his hands now. It doesn't much change the lay of the land in the top 10 as far as the team battle goes. It is very much dominated still by Team Gedman. He has got 7 drivers in the top 10 at the minute. 2 of them on the top 2 spots on the podium, and 5 in the top 6 drivers are Team Gedman. So 30 minutes into the race, the team leaders might not have had the best starts to the race, but certainly Team Gedman carrying that torch with absolute pride at the minute. Where is Brown? Wow, okay, I think I've lost Brown. It looks like we've lost a few drivers actually. We're down from 31 to 26. Right, and I'm going to have to do a manual count and see how many we've got for each team. So we've got, what, 2, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh wow, so that means it's 14 to 13. No, 14 to 12. I can count. Anything past my 10 fingers, I'm absolutely out the window. The abacus would be required. But yeah, so we've got 26 drivers, 14 of them for Team Gedman, 12. So that has brought it slightly closer together. It was 17-14. It's now 14 to 12, so it narrows the gap, but it doesn't change what's going on in the top 10. There's Popov into the pits. Postel and Austell, they have both stayed out. Austell just having a bit of a wiggle over that inside curb again. Did think the PTSD would have kept him on the straight and narrow, but that is... Oh, that's Grace! No, that's not Grace. Sorry, Grace is in the Audi. That is... It's not Els. Yeah, again, it's all fine and well having the cars and the team's the same colour. That does get a bit confusing though. Who is that? Someone is going to be limping along the Conrod straight. 10 or 19. Well, it's not Vidler. Is it Carpino? Someone else has had an incident. We'll see if they come in at the pits and then we'll figure out who it is. Hobart is back out. He's now 6 laps down on the leader. Picked himself up a drive-through. Oh, and he's hit the wall on the way out. A Forest elbow. I still think that should be called Hell Corner. It's absolutely hellish if you get that one wrong. Vermeulen on a charge after picking up damage just before he came into the pits. I do wonder if that, well, I'd imagine it did change his pit strategy. He was absolutely flying out the front with an 8-second gap. He's now given himself a fair bit of work to do. And it looks like he's already got part of that work done before we even jumped on board with him. That's Gunning in the background having a wiggle out with the first corner, but Vermeulen up to 7th position over Wheats and already opening up a comfortable gap there. So it's all about dessert. We're only 32 minutes in. We've seen quite a few cars come into the pits, but there's definitely scope for drivers to stay out for at least another 30 minutes. We'll see what they decide to do, with there being 2 mandatory pit stops for the drivers to take. That is, yeah. So it does look like we've seen a few drivers go for their shorter stint at the start of the race. And we're now seeing the drivers looking to take their shorter stint at the end of the race. So they are going to split up a bit. Let's see what Face and Lemon have got up their sleeves. That was me, yes. Oh no, goodness me. I talked that quickly. Ed Wannells. Oh no. Sorry, Ed. Yeah, sorry. Let me know who you are in the race, sorry. I unfortunately don't manage to keep up with a lot of what I say. Because I'm chopping and changing down through the field so often. So, yeah, but let us know your car number. If anyone is spectating, or yeah, maybe best not to type in if you're driving, but if you're in the pits or if you're streaming and any of your viewers are watching, jump in. If anybody wants any watch a lap or two with their favourite driver, let us know. We've got Desert, Grace, and Vidler up at the front of the field. They've kept themselves nice and clean. Oh, you are out, right? Okay. That is a pity. That is a pity. Hovar now 7 laps down. Blyce, he's done both his pit stops, so 24th I don't think is where he's going to be finishing. We'll see how the rest. Although, is he going to need to take another pit stop? Yes, probably. He is more than likely going to need some more fuel. Van der Waal, since coming out of the pits, he has done an absolute number on Pospisil for pace here. The gap now up to 3.9 seconds. He is currently being aided by the Ferrari Silva ahead of him. Cheeky bit of slips, which is going to catch them up very quickly to the man of the moment, Chris Gedman. Again, he has taken himself a pit stop so far. Okay, yes, I believe, yes, that's right, the Canadian Grand Prix. So is that starting soon? Oh, there's better racing here anyway. So that's absolutely fine. Let's jump on. And see, as I say, we've got Gedman. Yep, so Brown is out. One of the team leaders is down the lay of the land in that top 10. It is changing ever so slightly. We're back up to 4 drivers for Team Gedman. For Team Brown in the top 10. We were running with only 3, so the pit stop's changing things up there. It's going to be a big change as well. Once the drivers ahead of these have taken their pit stop. There's Van der Waal there. Still chasing Silva. Pospisil still chasing him. He's got the gap back down to about 3.5 seconds. So The gap is balancing. It was over 4, so he's going to be, well, he's obviously going to be trying his best to catch up. He's going to need to. Gunning and Slade are two of the Team Brown drivers that have made their way into the top 10, and they too could work together. We've got a couple of quick cars here, the Mustang and the Bentley, so they could get some good slipstream work done along the Conrod Straight and along. Oh, not if you're touching the wall like that though. Gunning. Leaving a bit of metal and paint on the wall there. Can't do that too often. Again, you just chip away at the aerodynamics on the front of the car, and that is absolutely not what you want to be doing around any racecourse, never mind Bath. So yeah, what is it they say usually when you're qualifying? You've got your qualifying pace, and your race pace is qualifying minus 5% to make sure you make it to the end. I would say around this course minus 10. Minus 15%. Survival is the name of the game. We've started with 31, and we're already down to 25. So that's 6 drivers that have found themselves not able to finish the race. So that is several drivers that have gained themselves some very good positions. Vermeulen is still running. He's got Austell and Postel ahead of him. 4.7 seconds. Is the gap that he's got to them, so we'll keep an eye on that and see if he catches up to these two before they get into the pits. That is now closing in on 40 minutes, so if you're going to do 3 even stints with the 2 pit stop requirement, then now is approximately the time. Yeah, because this will bring them in bang on the 1 hour 20, bang on, bring them in bang on the 40-minute mark. Here was me saying I was going to roast Chris tonight while he was at his own do. I'm pretty much roasting myself with these overly complicated oral gymnastics that seem to be thrown my way. But what have we got? Yes, so Desert and Grace, will they be coming in at the end of this lap, maybe next lap or two? Or do they just run a 1 hour stint and then 2 30-minute stints? That could certainly work. If they've come out with enough fuel to do that, that would have been an absolute master stroke. Well, actually, I'm saying that. I'm now going to contradict that completely because we don't know it's a master stroke until we see what everyone that's taken the longest stint at the end does. But the shorter stint at the end, it would certainly give you better tyres. And you will spend, roughly the same amount of time on fuel loads. Oh no, because the driver's coming in early, of course. They're going to take on a fuel tank that will have started on less, so yeah, it's all in the balance. My little ADHD brain working absolute overtime trying to work out what some of the drivers are going to do. And we've still got an hour and 20 minutes to see. Bleish is back in the pits. He's already taken both his mandatory pit stops. Lemon back in the pits along with Tierney. Oh, that is not looking factory fresh there, my friend. Tierney into the pits. Warrior in 16th then, so that is more pit stops, and Desir comes in bang on the 40-minute mark, and that is Desir in, dropped and out again. Grayson Audi stays out and is already ascending the mountain once again. So too is Vidler, who is now up into 2nd place. Postel and Austell, and tell you what, there is Vermeulen coming out of the pits. Where is Desir? There's Desir. Where's Vermeulen? Vermeulen is heading up the hill. Desir in the Ferrari is still okay. So Vermeulen's gotten past. So despite it being a lengthier pit stop, Vermeulen is back past Desir. Cameraman really does need to learn to keep up on here. Yeah, there's Desir just going through the cutting, and there's Vermeulen already into the park. So he has retaken the net lead of the race. Wow. He is smashing in the laps. There's Steve and Gunning coming into the pits along with Felix and Warrior. 3 first-time pitters. Steve. Oh yeah, no, that's Steve's first time as well. Warrior on his first time. Faze on his second. Lemon's back out. He's in 23rd. Hobart is out as well, and it's Grace who is out in the lead and going for another lap. Grace going for another lap. Of course, Vidler, Postel, Austell are behind. Then it is Vermeulen, long time race leader, and he finds himself 6 seconds down on Postal at the minute, and so he's only, what is that, about 30 seconds down on Grace. So it's going to be very close when Grace comes out of the pits. But it has been a good battle. A good drive by Grace so far. That Audi running very quickly indeed. There's Postal coming in to the pits. Oh, Austell carrying damage. Oh, so Austell carrying and staying out. Wow, so Austell losing huge time on Postal, staying out with the damage. Wheats comes in. Vermeulen absolutely flies past. The Zaire will, of course, get the position as well because, well, there he is there. And right on the back of Austell as well, so he's going to actually get some nice little slipstream on the way in there. Wheats comes into the pits. Smets stays out. Van der Waal coming through the final chicane. And we will see. Yeah, Wheats is still in, so Van der Waal is going to easily take that one. There's Silva coming into the pits for the first time. Pospisil comes round at the last corner. And that's going to be 11th place there. He'll go past Wheats as well. So he's going to retake that spot too. Grace still out in the lead, but Vermeulen, importantly for him, he has kept that 30-second gap to the race leader, and he's gained the position while doing so. So it's all working well and truly in his favour at the moment. Grace now, again, still got 17 minutes before a potential pit stop. I mean, if we're being pedantic, potentially, what, another 21 minutes? I mean, an hour and 5. Certainly not out of the question. The track temperature has gone down to 30 degrees, so a 2 degree difference. That is going to make a bit of a difference when you top the car up on fuel. Not a massive one though. The track temperature certainly kind on the tyres for the event so far. Here comes Desire. Now, will Austell take this opportunity to come into the pits again? With that damage and considering how well they were running, I would have expected them to come in on the pits on the previous lap. Does come in on this one though, so will get that damage repaired. The big question though, yeah, I think Postal has got this by absolutely miles. So there's Postal there, yeah. Yeah, Austell, he's absolutely lost this one there. There's Postal going through. So he is going to get back into the top 5 while Austell still stationary. Slade coming through. There comes Van der Waal as well. So Van der Waal tearing across the line. Pospisil coming around the last corner, taking his pit stop as well. So Austell losing a fair few positions here. So I think that was a bit of an... Unless did that... No, it was before the pit entrance. So yeah, that extra lap. Here comes Wheats as well. Now Wheats and Steve, they've both pitted too, and they've got a blue flag quicker driver in there with them. There's Slade. Austell still stationary. He's going to lose an absolute handful of positions now. Felix and Popov. I mean, Popov could be looking at a spot here. Or is that just a bit too far? Yeah, there we go. That is just a little bit too far, but certainly Austell. He's going to be much further down than 7 when he comes back out. But as we can see, Van der Waal and Slade already well along that bottom straight. Smets as well. Oh, and that BMW there carrying damage. That's Hovart carrying more damage. Oh, that's a painful one. He's got a lot of blue flag drivers around him. So Postal in 5th, Van der Waal in 6th, Pospisil in 7th, then it's Slade, Steve, Wheats, and then Austell. So back up in 11th place. Oh, and a big wiggle for the BMW on the inside there, and Hovarth. He is absolutely not aerodynamically sound, that is for sure. And over the mountain, oh, he is going to be an issue for himself and the rest of the drivers. And see, that's the problem. The only way you can get out of the way is by scraping yourself against the wall. It just does more damage, slows you down. Just a lot of diminishing returns, unfortunately. Fights with both his pit stops intended to. Grace is still out. Hour and 13 minutes left, so that's 47 minutes. Again, still plenty of time. Vidler's staying out as well. We've now got 5 of Team Brown, Team Gogs, into the top 10. So the lay of the land massively changing over the race. We were down to 3, it's now up to 5. And we've got 1 each of them in the top 10. Still needs to take a pit. Not many other drivers. In fact, they're the last 2 to take they need to take their first mandated pit stop. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they come back out. Especially with Austell being as far down as he is. Bless me, apologies. Oh, there's a fine balancing act between taking enough medication for the hay fever and not taking enough. And there is a tipping point either way. Where is Will Friedman tonight? I've no idea actually. I'm not sure. I did imagine that he would have shown up. I know there was, I believe it was 39 drivers in the draft out of the 42 slots available. I'm sure it was 39. We had 31 make it to the grid tonight. So I could tell you actually, if he was in Britain, certainly in England, and he decided to do some gardening today, he may well be completely cooked on his couch because it was cosy. It's going to be cosier tomorrow, so yeah, he might be recovering from a monster day out in the sun. There we go, we'll sort that. We've stayed on board with this battle here. It is Felix who's got himself up into 11th position. Oh, there's Barnett coming in for his second pit stop, an hour and 11 minutes left to go. Still nothing for the race current on-track race leader coming into the pits. Yeah, it was a bit cosy. In fact, if you don't mind, bear with me one moment because it is very cosy in here as well. I'm going to make a run over there and pop a desk fan on. Bear with me a second. Oh, there we go. Desk fans, ceiling fans, all the fans. It's warm in here, and of course, when I nipped away, Grace came into the pit. So Grace in and out again, running currently in fourth. So we'll see net third, although Vidler is going to have a big say in that, depending on where they come back out in that Ferrari. 3 Ferraris leading the way once again. With Grace in fourth. So as I say, yeah, Grace in fourth at the minute, but net third will say Postel. I would say definitely in fifth position. I think Vidler comes out ahead of Postel quite handily. Van der Waal 19 seconds down and Pospisil 7 seconds down. So they've spread out after these pit stops, apart from Popov trying to get past Felix. This one has been quite close for quite some time, and wow, we're hemorrhaging drivers at the minute. Hovart down in 24th, back in the pits again with some more damage. Lemon running at the rear of the field behind Garbino. Lemon's taken 2 pit stops though. Barnett and FaZe are close, but it's Popov and Felix that look to be the 2 closest at the moment. Yes, they are. How is our team leaders getting on? Gedman up to 18th position. So it's been a good recovery drive. Again, he has, well, everyone's taken their first pit stop except for Vidler up at the front of the field. 53 minutes gone. So still potentially another 12 minutes. He can stay out. Let's see what Popov can do against Felix. Oh, and he's touched the wall on the way out of Forest Elbow. And he was wiggling like a fiddler's elbow there. That is not the type of corner exit that you want. Good evening, Beto. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. It's Team Gedman versus Team Gogs. Gedman's Goons versus Mr. Brown's Boys. And it's a close one at the minute. We've got 5 of each in the top 10. And I think it will stay that way. Do it? Yes, we do, yeah, because Wheats is up into the top 10. Ostel and Popov have dropped out. Wheats and Slade have made their way in, along with Steve as well. So there's been a few changes. There's about to be a change here as well, potentially, as Popov tries to get a move up the inside of Felix on the first corner. Felix using all of the curb on the exit and managing to hold on. Let's see what they can do in the slipstream here. It's going to be Popov. He is going to be getting firmly pulled along into Quarry Bend. Come on, cameraman. Let's keep up with action, please. There we go. He's thinking about side by side. Is he close enough to get this on the apex? Oh, and he's got himself in front before they even get to the apex. But he's touched that inside curb. It's unsettled the car. The BMW runs a bit wide himself. Leaves more than enough room. Very nice move there by Popov. That puts him up into 12th position. So certainly in the top 10. It's a 50-50 split of the teams, but up to 15th, a very different story as we can see. 4 drivers for Team Gedman, 11th through 14th. So Gedman's boys looking very good at the moment. Vidler certainly looking good. Good racing by Popov indeed. Yeah, there's been some good racing all round so far. Yeah, there we go. Vidler, I thought we'd lost him there for a second. My heart skipped a beat. So Felix, can he keep up though? No, he cannot. Popov really disappearing over the mountain on him there. So he's going to have a bit of work to do. The drivers, not really much aid between them, and we've got Warrior who's had a bit of a mistake. Oh, and he's completely sideways across the road. That is a tricky one. He's going to have to hold these brakes periodically to let people past. Oh, and that is going to tumble him down the order. Oh, I get the feeling his steering isn't correct. Steering column, I mean, yeah, something's gone wrong. The suspension, the springs. Ooh, that's a lot of input for very little motion there. Vermeulen comes across the start-finish line. He is 3 seconds down now on Vidler, so he is our race leader by virtue of the fact that he has taken a pit stop already. He really has closed the gap on Vidler, so it's all about where Vidler comes out after his pit stop. Is it going to be behind Postel? I do think it is going to be, yeah, it's going to, it's going to be close. He should be ahead of Van der Waal. He said confidently. Did he? I'm not sure he did, to be honest, but hey. But yeah, Vidler, he's been, wow, Vermeulen is absolutely destroying that gap between them. He really is absolutely nailing it. Should we do, oh no, if I hit drive, does it completely mess it up? Can I wouldn't mind getting on some on board with Vermeulen to see how he's doing this, to be fair. It is very much a Ferrari masterclass at the moment. In fact, what I should do... there we go, right, 2.5 seconds there is the gap. Vidler, will he come in? I mean, that's 58 minutes in, so getting close to the hour for your first stint, that is not too bad. I mean, there's Warrior and Gedman coming in for their second stops on the hour mark, and he's staying out. Vidler is staying out for another one. Even though he's losing a lot of pace to Vermeulen, he certainly doesn't feel he's losing time to Desert or Grace. Although if he's got this much fuel in his car at the start of the race, then you're as well to run the tank as dry as possible to make that sacrifice of the extra weight at the start of the race worth it, sort of thing. So that's what he'll be looking to do. I think Vermeulen is going to get him. If not on the Conrod straight next time around, it will be just after the Conrod straight, because he is closing in at a very, very, very quick rate indeed. Desert in third place now, 26 seconds behind. So I'll tell you what, Vidler's really putting the work in here. I mean, I'm wondering if he's going to come out behind Postel or near Postel. I think he's going to come out ahead of Grace. Given these gaps that we're seeing, and especially if Vermeulen overtakes Vidler at the right time for Vidler, he could get himself a big boost in pace over the next couple of laps. Oh yeah, Vermeulen is absolute different gravy. Yeah, very quick indeed. And I did say the Conrod straight, a solid exit here. And it will definitely be on through the chase chicane. But again, Vidler, not a bad thing to be following someone as quick as this. Let's see if he gets it done along the Conrod straight then. This is to retake the lead of the race. He had some kind of off-camera incident. And then came into the pits on the same lap that he had the incident. It dropped him back down to 9th position. Vidler hasn't taken his first pit stop yet, and Vermeulen has still managed to catch up to him. And of course, Vidler started in 4th place, and he was running in 4th when everyone started to come in and take the pits. So that is how quick Vermeulen has been at catching back up. And he does come in, so that is Vidler coming into the pits. Vermeulen will retake the on-track lead. Here comes Desert. Grace just coming out of the final corner before the Conrod straight. Desert just coming into the chase, and Vidler, of course, now having done, yeah, he's broke the back of it here, so he's only got to take on potentially 30 minutes of fuel, so this will be a quick turnaround, and he won't need to take tyres on his next stop either. So it'll be a fuel only stop on his next pit stop as well, so he is going to save himself some time. There comes Desert. Grace into the last corner, Postel on the Conrod straight, Grace out of the last corner, Vidler still stationary. Oh, it's all about the pit stop time. Grace coming into the first corner. Nope, he's got it. Vidler is still stationary. Grace round the first. Yeah, there we go. And there is Vidler moving now. Oh no, it's not Vidler moving. That's someone else moving. That is the Mustang of Slade. There is Vidler moving now. So Vidler moving now. Desert up the mountain. Grace up the mountain. Postel's come in. Postel's come into the pits as Van der Waal comes round the last corner. So Van der Waal's going to take 5th. Postel Would have been close there to Vidler. I know it does say Vidler in third. But yeah, no, there we go. Confirmation. Grace in third. So we're back to the top 3 for Team Gedman. And only 4 for Team Gogs in the top 10. So that's it changed around again. Postal, he's in for a second pit. It'll be interesting to see when he comes back out. Slade's already taken both his pit stops. He's a fair chunk of change down. And there is Gedman. Isn't that always the way? You come in to take your final planned pit stop at Bathurst, and what happens? You have yourself a crash and you end up having to come straight back in and get some damage repaired. That is absolutely brutal. And there's Vermeulen. So Desire's going to get back in the lead of the race as Vermeulen comes in for his second stop. So he's got a 56 minute stint coming up. Here's Desire, here comes Grace. And in fact, where do they come out compared to Vidler? That's in, wow. Oh yeah, because Vidler came in with Vermeulen behind him. Is Vermeulen about to come out behind Vidler again? That is an interesting battle. That is an interesting battle. There we go, we've got someone cheering on. Yeah, we're cheering on Mr. Gedman indeed. So Desire through, Grace through, Vidler coming around the last corner. Vermeulen has got back out ahead. So Vermeulen has got out ahead of Vidler again. That is a good turnaround considering where he was. Van der Waal, he's coming in for his second pit stop. Wow. So they're all coming in. Postel back out in 9th place. He is going to get back ahead of Van der Waal. It's all turning round. Oh, the pedals decided to come apart. Ah, brutal. There is nothing worse. I was racing F4s on Race Room, and coming into the penultimate corner 3 times in the one race, I just got some kind of weird lag spike. Where my pedals, my accelerator and my brake both jammed on and I couldn't steer. It was just so weird. Yeah, technical failures. There's nothing worse actually. I need to be careful. The capture car's been, I mean, yeah, I feel ya. We had a capture car failure live on stream. I had to give it a quick with the work boots. But we are up and running again, thankfully. Vermeulen absolutely flying. Vidler in 4th place. Now Van der Waal, he is on. Now, yeah, the cameraman here. Let's get a look into Quarry Bend. Postel already up the hill, so Postel, he is ahead of Van der Waal. We'll get a look at what the gap there is very soon. Slade's taking his pit stop. Barnett, Warrior, Face and Gedman, they've all taken their mandated pit stop. Gedman up to 20th position from where he started. Now we're down to 23. They are dropping like flies. The mountain has been absolutely indiscriminate with its victims today. Let's see. Desire 10 seconds ahead of Grace and 14 seconds further back is Vermeulen. Will he get the overtake done on 1st and 2nd before they come in for their second pit stop? We will certainly see. We've got 7 tenths between Austell and Postel. These two getting close once again. But that is, of course, because Postel has taken his second pit stop. So this battle has re-emerged. But it's very much a different lay of the land for both drivers, given that Austell still has a pit stop to take in his Nissan. Postel will be very, very, very happy indeed to see that car ahead of them. Although they are on the same team. So as far as it goes team-wise, it's working well. And an update on the teams as well. As you can see, we are back down to only 3 of Mr. Brown's boys in the top 10. is Gedman's goons that occupy 7 of the top 10, and in fact 8 of the top 11 positions. They've also got 3. Sorry, no, they've only got 2 now though. Of the 5 positions from 11 through to 15, so just outside the top 10. A slightly stronger mix of Browns boys. We've got Popov into the pits for his second pit stop. Fice, oh, that might be a bit of damage because Fice has already had 2 pit stops. Gedman just coming through the chase chicane. Gerbino still with a pit stop to take. Holvert still got a pit stop to take as well. Vermeulen still 14.7 seconds behind Grace and Desire. Vidler 5.1, so Vidler is dropping a bit of time there, but is still gaining time on Pospisil, so it's been a good race by Vidler. Started in 4th, all known to it, and his teammates have managed to join him. But Austell and Postel dropping out of the top 5. It's put 3 of Team Gogs up into the top 6. So yeah, there might only be 3 of the team in the top 10, but those 3 are in the top 6 as well. So it's a straight 3 for 3 shootout between the team, as a whole lot of blue flags get waved on the track. As Austell makes his way through, Postel will now try and get his way past, and Vermeulen, I don't know if he's hit a plateau, as he maybe taking it a bit easy to make sure he gets to the end of the race on these tyres. But the gap is still sitting at 14.7 seconds. And it's been that way for quite some time now. Let's see, Smets, 410. Whoa, it's a bit of a wiggle there by Felix. A bit too lively on the inside curve there. Maybe feeling a bit of the pressure there from Smets behind him. But again, these two are on the same team, so they are more likely, I would say, to work together. It would certainly be the thing to do. I think Smets got a slightly different memo as to the team colours. Oh, and that is full Fast and the Furious out with the first corner there for Smets. He's surely... for Felix, sorry, my goodness me. Felix is in the BMW in the red car. It's Smets that is running as he should be. There's Van der Waal. He is going to get a lot closer to this battle as well, so he could find himself back up into the top 10 pretty soon as well. And that'll certainly be top priority for him if he can. I want to see what Vermeulen's gap is now. Because Grace and Desire, they are 8.5 seconds apart, so that gap is going the way of Desire at the moment, and there is Vermeulen suddenly takes 1.1 seconds out of absolutely no place. He just suddenly takes 1.2, 1.3 seconds. It's yeah, quite the turnaround instantly in one lap there. Smets and Felix half a second between those two. Gunning not too far behind, and yeah, Van der Waal, he's closing up, and he will be looking to get past these two as quickly as he can, because of course he has taken both pit stops. And it is Postel that he is looking to race at the moment, but he's got 14 big long seconds. Well, actually, it's 14 seconds that long at Bathurst. It is not. Only takes 1 fraction of a millisecond of a mistake, and you can easily lose 14 seconds, if not a whole lot more. That's another half a second by way of Vermeulen's lap time. Vidler now 7 seconds behind, but he's still got 25 seconds to Pospisil. And Van der Waal, yep, I think if I was a betting man, I'd have some folding money on the next overtake we see being Van der Waal. Felix is set, oh, especially with a car just coming out with the pits. That, I believe, is that phase? No, it's not. It's not Popov either, and it's not Smets. We'll figure that out in a moment because the battle is still going on. That's Postel, sorry. There's Van der Waal there. They've got past the blue flag car. He's not got past Felix at this point though. So still trying to get that one done. And again, these three drivers in a slightly different race to one another. Van der Waal chasing down, what has he got there? We've got 16, okay, so he's got about 16 seconds now to make up the Postel. Vermeulen is now down to 11.8 seconds. So anyone that's backing Vermeulen to get the overtakes done before Grace and Desire coming at the pits. It's looking not bad. Oh well, no, is it looking not bad? 48 minutes left. I would... Oh yeah, Natu did pit a bit later, so they maybe got about another 18 minutes, you would say, before the pits. That would certainly be the sensible thing, you would say, at this point. One last 30 second stint, yeah, okay. One last 30 minute stint. Or did they just do a drive-through? The drivers that came in on the hour mark, why would they even stop? Oh, because I have to take on fuel. My apologies, yes, they must take on at least a litre of fuel. Each of the pit stops for it to count, so there, that would be why. That would then stop you, of course, from running away with it a bit. Sorry, there we go. Is the audio still working? Yes, it is. Oh, my goodness me, sorry. Where were we? Right, so yeah, Vermeulen, 10.5 seconds behind. Oh yeah, so the final stop strategy, I was surmising that we may see a drive-through, but they do need to take on a bit of fuel, so at least a 1 litre of fuel, I'd imagine it is, to take on board. So yeah, they will have to be stationary for their final stop. So the drivers that took the stop about the hour mark will have to stop it fully again. Vermeulen, he doesn't need to stop though, of course. Wilder and Pospisil, they both definitely do, with Wheat, Steve, Ostel, all needing to pit as well. So Postel in a good position as well here. He is going to get himself back up into the top 5. We'll see how his tyres are when he gets there towards the end of the race, and if any of the drivers around him actually take on fresh tyres at their next stop. If you don't need to take on tyres and you've only got to split that hour, again, I'm talking about the strategy a lot here, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't be taking that extra time to swap tyres if you don't need to. That'll save you a whole lot. Let's see what Van der Waal can do this time around again. The Ferrari in a straight line, even in the slipstream, it does struggle up at the higher end speeds, and that is certainly playing out along the Conrod Straight. Smets as well. Oh, now yeah, that is his McLaren, so he has been overtaken over the mountain and he's carrying a bit of damage. I do love the way that this updates so quickly. That's thrown me right under the bus, but that is Smets who has dropped down the order. So Van der Waal getting the overtake done, but it's on Smets after he's made a mistake and touched the wall. It's now Felix up into 10th and Van der Waal running in 11th, but again, like Postel, he is going to gain a couple of positions at least when everyone else around him takes their pit stop. We're seeing more and more drivers getting into that second pit stop done and dusted. Slade, Popov, Barnett Warrior, Gedman, Lemon and FaZe all getting their second stop done. Van der Waal, Postel and Vermeulen, they're in the top 11, I would say top 10 though, comfortably, given that Van der Waal is going to get the position on Felix and Ostel, as well as potentially Steve as well. We shall see when they do though. At 7.5 seconds, so since Vermeulen came out of the pits, he's now half the gap to the cars ahead of him. Grace and Desire still running quickly. Desire certainly running quicker than Grace though. That gap there now up to 9 seconds. So again, that is definitely going the way of Desire. So Vermeulen firmly focused on catching up there first. Wilder 12 seconds down now on Vermeulen, and there is Pospisil in. Oh, that's a bit of a tail slide. I mean, let's face it, if you're going to have a track that goes up and down a mountain with walls either side, You might as well put a double chicane on the pit entrance. There is no point in half measures at that stage. That's all I'm saying. There is Steve around the last corner following wets. Both these drivers promoted to the top 10 when a few of the drivers in there decided to make contact with the wall and drop out. Ooh, Van der Waal on Felix now. This is very close out of Forest Elbow, sorry. I was going to say the penultimate corner. It's kind of the penultimate corner before you get to this chicane. Our final corner complex, we'll call this, the chicane down into Murray's, just to save my blushes there. So still stationary. Van der Waal will be keen to get ahead, and I think he's just about going to get this done. Postel is definitely through. Van der Waal is through as well. Pospisil still stationary, so that's Van der Waal retaking a good spot up the field. Can he get past Felix though? Is Felix going to be coming into the pits anytime soon? There's Pospisil off. Yep, Ostel is through. Postel through as well. Felix and Van der Waal, as we've seen. Slade on the Conrod straight, so Pospisil should be coming back out. And what is that? 11th, 12th place? 12th place. Yeah, because Van der Waal's already running. Oh no, Gunning's on there as well. So it will be 12th. There's Smets coming in for their final pit stop. It's all happening now. Yeah, big mix-ups in the strategies with what the teams are doing. Wheats is quietly having a good race. He certainly is indeed. Glad you're enjoying the comms. An absolute pleasure to be here for this one for Chris. I've known him for quite some time. He and I have been... he's certainly done a lot more work with FRL. I've done a bit broadcasting and things back in the day, but yeah, it was a long time ago that we both started here. 1,000 races. It's quite the achievement, I tell you. And the amount of work he does in the background as well. So, yeah, great to see an event put on for him. And it's good to be the one controlling the cameras. Haha! I get to decide which parts of the race we watch. Excellent! Felix and Van der Waal, they've been getting a fair bit of watching. Let's see. Smeets in the pits. Popov is through. There might be a lap difference here. We'll wait and see. Yeah, not Slade is through. Sound. Silva. Around the last corner. Still take a pit stop, so that won't bother them. There is Wheats on screen now. 5th place at the minute. Steve is closing in. They've got Ostel 11 seconds down. Postel is going to make up some good spots. Definitely heading firmly into the top 5 once again. So Postel, let's see what that last sector's brought him there. 4.4 seconds. Yep, he is looking good to jump right back up the order again. Caveat to that though, of course, he does just all he needs to do is survive the mountain for another 40 minutes. Easy work, easy work, easy work, said no one ever. Van der Waal still... Oh no, he's got himself ahead. He has got the job done, so Van der Waal is ahead of Felix. That's him up to 9th place. Felix in 10th. So Van der Waal, he will be exceptionally pleased with that as he continues to chase Ostel, who I think, yep, he is. Ostel should come back out behind, so Van der Waal getting the job done. Ostel's going to need a very quick pit stop to stay competitive. Steve and Wheats still battling away. These are not teammates. It's the first battle we've seen for a while in the top 10. Oh no, of course, sorry, Van der Waal and Felix. My goodness me. My brain is absolutely cooked in a minute, it would seem. Steve and Wheats will see. Oh, I tell you what, he's almost cooked his rear suspension there, bouncing around Murray's corner. Exceptionally violent from the back end of the car. He has managed to tame it though. But that's put the gap back out to 0.8 of a second. He's going to have to do a bit of building to close that back up again. Let's see, Vermeulen, 5.8 seconds now to Grace, 39 minutes left to go. Let's see if this is the moment Desire chooses to bring their McLaren in. Yeah, I would say another 9 minutes at least. maybe even a bit longer. I mean, if you're only coming in for a quick litre of fuel, it doesn't really matter when you get it done, I suppose. That is Felix coming into the pits. So we saw the overtake there for Van der Waal. Gunning stays out. Pospisil and Slade will take the positions here. Popov is a bit far back though. So yeah, Felix has run a very, very, very good race here so far. Pospisil, as I say, is through. I think Slade will get through. He's just coming to the chase chicane now. Popov though. That could be close. Felix still stationary. And where is Popov? Right, just coming to the chase chicane now, smashing into that braking zone. Felix is still stationary. Pospisil through, confirmed. Slade through, confirmed. Felix still stationary, confirmed. And Popov into the final corner. This is going to be close. Felix is still stationary. This is a monster pit stop for Felix. Here comes Popov along the start-finish line and going to get it done. Felix still stationary. And Popov, oh, Horvath carrying damage again. That BMW is not on. There's Felix out now. Popov is already on the straight, and that is Felix back out, so he's going to be back out in 15th position. 14th. Sorry, 14th ahead of Smets and behind Popov. Gunning still to take a pit stop, and Vermeulen still to take a breath potentially. Now the gap down to 1.6 seconds. That is closed right in. Wow, it was only 2 minutes ago. It was about 3 seconds down, so he's taken huge chunks of time out of the field. Desir has come in. So Desir has come in. Desir will get overtaken while in the pits. Grace has stayed out, so Grace is going to have a few laps in the lead of the race. Let me just... There we go, get the screen at a viewable angle. Excellent. So Vermeulen, 1.4 seconds down. He didn't get the overtake done on Desir out on track, but Grace certainly could be an entirely different story. Postel, Van der Waal still running in the top 10 with Ostel, Wiets, Steve and Vidler. Their direct competitor for top 5 position. Vermeulen now 18 seconds down. Vidler 18 seconds down on Vermeulen. And along the start-finish straight, so ahead of Desir, there is Desir. Back out, 35 minutes left of a stint, and Vidler already heading up the mountain, so that will change for us ever so slightly. It's Steve that is going to stay behind Desir, with a pit stop still to take, so it does look like these are our 4 solid runners and riders for the podium. Vidler definitely putting himself in with a shout. Going to need to be a gargantuan drive. Grace with 40 laps done and dusted, 35 minutes left to go of the 1K for Gedman. We've got 1.1 seconds separating the top 2, but really Vermeulen is a fair chunk of change ahead. He's going to be on much older tyres come the end of the race. Again, it's all dependent on the strategy. I would love to get a rough idea of what drivers are planning on doing. Like I say, I think the drivers that managed to get an hour into the race, why would you change tyres when you stop in the final hour? You're not gonna gain the 30 seconds you lose. So yeah, definitely I would stick with the same set of boots. There's Steve and Wiets both in the pits. Gunning comes in as well. That's more final pit stops being taken. Horvath, just rolls back into the pit box with a bit more damage. The mountain really has been cruel to the BMW driver tonight. Lemon down in 22nd place. FaZe as well was up in the top 10. And it's just been a very, very, very difficult one. Gunning, Wiets and Steve all stationary, and as they are stationary, Van der Waal runs his way through. There's Steve on his way out, Wiets on his way out. Wiets gets back out ahead of Steve, and I tell you what, that's increased the gap. Wow, Wheats has got a good one there. That is a very quick turnaround. Look, Steve, only just coming out of the pits now, and that is Slade coming around the last corner. So Slade is now going to be fighting with Wheats. Gunning just making his way out. So that's worked out absolutely beautifully for Wheats then. So that will update in a second to say that Wheats is ahead of Steve. And Slade is ahead of Gunning. Gunning's just leaving the pits now, so we'll let that sort itself out as Vermeulen is looking to retake the lead of the race. On track with an overtake on our current race leader, which is Grace out in the Audi. Grace, if I was in Grace's position here, I would be letting Vermeulen through as quickly as possible, because with a pit stop still to take for Grace, the race win in a straight fight with Vermeulen certainly isn't on. Should Vermeulen make a mistake, you never know. But at the moment, Grace looking to take as much time as possible out of Desire as these two fight for their spots on the podium. Does Grace come in this time? I mean, 32 minutes left to go. Not a bad time to take your pit stop. Oh, and especially with the race leader chasing you down. But no, Grace stays out. Sticking to their strategy. 41 laps done, Vermeulen within half a second. Are we predicting an overtake on this lap? I think that would be what we're looking at, to be honest. Is he going to get it done? I'll tell you what, Vermeulen will be... I mean, I'm saying he'll be massively keen to get it done as quickly as possible. Given the gap that he's got, he really doesn't have to do anything too crazy or take any crazy risks. Just needs to bring this one to the end, and he's got himself the race win, and he is going to have another trip over the mountain behind Grace. So Vidler in third currently again, still to take a pit stop. So is Austell as well. Austell I think is going to drop. Oh, to somewhere round about Wheats. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. And we are back to an even split as well. As far as the team battle goes, we've got 5 drivers in the top 10 for Team Gedman, and we've got 5 drivers in the top 10 for Team Gogs. The 5 drivers for Team Gedman, though, they're occupying positions all in the top 6. So at the minute, it doesn't matter how you run the scoring system. I would say Team Gedman very much in command. Let me see if I can get a number of drivers per team. Right, okay, so we've got 12. So it's 12v10. So still an advantage to Gedman. He's got 12 cars out on track. He does have the top 2 at the minute. There will be more to follow. As Austell very quickly through the pits. So he is through, and he is out just behind Van der Waal. There he is there, and it will confirm. Well, you can see Van der Waal is ahead of him. Pospisil just coming across the start-finish line. There is Silva coming in for his final pit stop. Garbino still got a stop to take. And Grace and Vermeulen, of course, the other 2 drivers. Grace and Vidler, the other 2 drivers to take their pit stop. Grace still following our race leader, Vermeulen. And so, yeah, the closest driver on track, really... sorry, not the closest driver on track. The closest driver in the race to Vermeulen is Desire. Will that remain the same after Grace's pit stop? That is where the final battle is going to take place by the look of it. Vidler is going to sink outside the top 3, but it's still going to be an absolutely heroic drive to hold on to that position with what was seen throughout the rest of the field. And in fact, I think we might be missing a juicy little battle here between Slade and Steve. It's Mustang versus Aston Martin, and Aston Martin showing to the inside line there. No defensive move from Slade. He realised that that Steve wasn't quite close enough to try anything on the brakes there. So he just holds his race line up through the cutting. And I tell you what, Slade is carrying a bit of a few war wounds there. Now there's Garbino coming into the pits. And then there was 2 still to see their pit crew. Haha. Yep, no, I'll see myself out. My apologies. That gap up at the front for Milan now 2.5 seconds ahead of Grace. Absolutely romping it. Up at the front. We're still on board with Slade and Steve, and of course we'll keep a wither eye out on when Grace and Vidler both decide to bring themselves into the pit as we are into, well into in fact, the final quarter of the race. Oh, there we go. Quick hydrate for the end of the race. Third place is a lap behind. Yeah, Vermeulen is an absolute monster. An absolute monster. In fact, is it third? So yeah, I think third at the moment is Desire. Or second. Sorry, Desire potentially second. Grace. Yeah, right, okay, so yeah, Grace is third. And Grace is behind Vermeulen, yeah, so Grace is going to take another pit stop. It does say a lap there, but that's only because he's crossed the line and that's them now back on the lead lap again. But yeah, it is an absolute masterclass from Vermeulen. And in fact, a complete performance as well, given the mistake, clearly, something happened in that opening stint which caused Vermeulen to come in with damage. And despite a longer pit stop to get aforementioned damage repaired, still managed to retake the lead before 4 or 5 cars had taken their final pit stop. So an absolutely incredible drive up at the front of the field, and it continues on lap after lap with 25 minutes left to go. He heads up the hill once again. 45 laps done and dusted, with Grace 3.5 seconds down and Vidler further 28 seconds down again, I believe. We'll get an update on that in a moment, hopefully. It does get a bit ropey on the console toward the end of the race. Let's see, Austell 1.5 down on Van der Waal, so it'll be interesting to see if he can close that gap and put in the pressure on Van der Waal towards the end. Silva in the pits with damage. Yeah, I think he was fixing his pit strategy there. That is something that can catch you out. You have a crash, your steering is tilted at a completely nightmarish angle, and you've got to try and figure out what you're going to do in the pits. And program it all in. Not the easiest thing to do. Sometimes the best thing to do is just get into the... Oh, and that is a big slide. That is a big slide. That is Steve in the Aston Martin up the hill. On the exit to the cut-in. Completely stationary. Come on, give us a camera angle, please. No, we're not getting an angle of Steve. That's how long he's been stationary for, though. Here comes... that's Gunning just gone through. Here comes Popov. If we stay on board with Popov, hopefully we'll get to see where Slade is. Nope. Oh, and he's back to the garage. He's gone straight back to the garage. Wow, that is some of the drag. That's yeah, top 10 potential for Team Gogs. Ooh, Grace. Huh? Grace is in the lead. Grace is back in the lead. Vermeulen 1.5 seconds down. Let me just see if we can... I wonder if that was just a bit tricky getting past some traffic. That is the Nissan of Wostal. But yeah, Grace is out. He's back in the lead. Vermeulen has been re-overtaken. Oh, now, good question. Vermeulen, bear with me a moment. Oh, Els, of course, Edwin Els. That's. Let me see. Let me see. South African. Jared Vermeulen. Oh, Jazzman. Well, there you go. I do complain when they keep changing their name. He's finally using his real name, and yeah, that's completely caught me out. I'm absolutely in no way, shape, or form surprised anymore. Now that I know who that actually is. That is Jazzman from back in the day, and yeah, El Rapido. Yeah, South African driver. And as quick as you like, that got 1.5 seconds. Gray still to take a pit stop though, so the lead of the race is still very much with Vermeulen. Has that been another mistake though? There's Steve into the pits, so Smets. Steve still stationary, yeah, Smets out with the pits. Felix is through, Popov is through as well, so there's going to be a bit of chopping and changing on the timing tower there. There we go. The main man, the man of the hour. He finds himself currently running in 18, so definitely an improvement on where he started. And he beats his fellow team captain. That is Mr. Brown. So an extra bonus point there, I think. So I think, yeah, Gedman, he's looking good to wrap this event up. Which just tacky, really, just tacky. Don't you think? I think so. I think so. So Grace still looking solid. And definitely got the strategy dialed down. The race at the moment, of course, with Desire. And it will be interesting to see just how quick Grace's next pit stop is. Vidler as well, still to take a pit stop. Yeah, we're not getting the live gap there. Oh yeah, 24 seconds. So Grace, yeah, will come out ahead. Desire, so where is Vidler? Going up the mountain. Desire is at the bottom of the mountain. Yeah, so Desire is going to go absolutely flying past. Postal is in at the final chicane, so that might be close. That might be close. Steve is still in the pit. Slade is through. Gedman's through as well, so he's gaining a lap back on the cars around him. There he is there. Silva just coming in the last corner where Garbino, Lemon and Hobart still running. Good to see Hobart still running. That is dedication right there. Several crashes tonight, and in fact is carrying damage at the moment, but worthy of some extra camera time, given the fact we've seen bouncy 9 drivers so far not make it to the end of the race. And yeah, Hobart several laps down, still absolutely flying. So yeah, very good to see. We do need to jump back up to the front of the field though. It is an overtake. What's the... Oh my goodness me, the word... It flashed across the tip of my tongue there and it's completely gone. It's not innocuous. I don't know why that replaced it. But it is... Oh, no, it keeps going. It's an academic overtake. There we go. Wow. Apologise. It's an academic overtake here for Vermeulen with Grace having to take that stop. But Vermeulen did have first place and then somehow lost it. So I'm sure we'll be keen to get this done. Oh, apologies. Scottish houses really aren't designed for the heat. There's Els in the chat again. Good evening once again. Who are we cheering on at the moment? Vermeulen is flying. Grace still looking good. Vidler and Desire. Now we know these two aren't racing one another, but it certainly gives us a good idea of their pace. If we keep an eye on the gap between the two of them, and it's sitting at 17 seconds, so Desire is closing in. He really is looking quick. Let's see, 10 seconds there, 6 seconds there. Wheat's in the top 10. Come on, Vermeulen. I have to support my countrymen. There we go. And there is Grace coming at the pits. So Grace comes in. And now will Vidler follow suit? Only 18 minutes to go, and is Grace... Yep, so Grace stops. And Vidler stays out. Vidler staying out. So Vidler stays out. Grace is stationary. I don't imagine this will be a long pit stop. There you go. Already dropped Desert. And I'll tell you what, Grace has got it done. Grace has got the monster overcut done. It's going to be very close on the way out, but Grace is going to be out and running. And I do think they're going to be the first one into the quarry bend. Yes, indeed, as Desert comes down the first corner now, and that is Grace getting the job done with the overcut. 18 minutes left to the race. Comes into the pits and re-emerges in second place, with Desert now running in third. Vidler. Let's see. This is going to take all kinds of crazy updating at the moment, so we're not going to get any accurate times for a while now, especially with some of the drivers being a lap down. So we can just guesstimate this though. Postal into the chicane. Vidler over the top of the mountain. And Van der Waal along the bottom straight. That might be a... Oh no, so Van der Waal is going to be close. Yeah, Van der Waal is going to be close. Vermeulen, no one's going to be close. Unless they've got a blue flag waving over the head, which a few of the cars will. But Vermeulen just needs to get to the end. Only 16 minutes left to go. He's had a couple of incidents so far. So just needs to keep the powder dry. And he will bring himself home a very, very, very good win indeed. We've got Grace in second place ahead of Desire. We're getting a more accurate look at that gap now, and it is 7.6 seconds. What a drive by Grace. And remember as well, not to influence anyone's decisions, but remember there will be voting for driver of the day. For each of the tiers, so make sure you're in the Discord and you can have your voice heard and decide who wins the rewards. There will be rewards for each of the class winners, the pros, the silvers and the bronzes. Pros, pro-ams and ams, whichever way. Yeah, there's that many of them these days. Oh. There we go, mouse is overly sensitive at times. Bingo, right, we're back. So yes, make sure you jump into Formula Racing League's Discord. Get yourself involved in the track as well. Absolutely incredible racing. Time after time, and some phenomenal organisation as well. Someone like Chris Gedman is all too good at. Let's see what we've got left then. We've got 14 minutes left. We've got Vermeulen, who finds himself in first, Vidler in second, Grace in third, with Desire in fourth. Vidler is going to definitely drop outside the top 5, I believe, so it's going to have been a good race. Yeah, Postle around the last corner, and Vidler coming down the mountain. So yeah, actually it's going to be close between those two. Yeah, we'll see what Vidler does, because running out of time. The pits will close a minute before the race ends, so still plenty of time to get it done. We've still got 22 cars out on track. What have we got? 4, 7, 8, 11, 12 for Gedman, so that means still 10 for Brown. And at the moment, the top 10 is an equal split, 5 of each. The top 15 gives a 1-car advantage to Gedman. And in the top 20, it's pretty close. Oh, cheeky little blue flag interaction there. That wasn't for Vida, that was for Vermeulen. He's got another one coming his way as well. Grace and Desire, 7.6 seconds. So we'll see how much of an answer Desire. But it's going to have to be an absolutely monster drive to not only close the gap, but then... oh, wow, well there we go. The gap now 9 seconds. So that really has been a master stroke on the strategy from Grace. Oh, Desire running up. Wow, what's happened there? Minor lack of concentration there. Although potentially trying to hydrate a bit, not a bad idea to do that when you can, but it can backfire horribly if you get it wrong. That is also running fine, sorry, just checking. We've still got the feed. 10.5 seconds now. Yeah, Grace has got this one absolutely dialed in, so that puts us straight 20 seconds. Let's see what happens when Postal comes across the line. I want to get an update on Postal v Desire, so we can kind of try and figure out where Vidler is. Now, are we going to get one for Postal? Of course we're not. That is unfortunate. So Postal along the start finish straight, Vidler along the bottom straight. Oh! Vidler got to do a splash and dash. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100,000,000%. This is going to be, I would say, the shortest pit stop we've seen anyone do in the entirety of the race. Vidler, okay, 11 minutes left to go. So has run massively deep, and I think that was the way to do it. In fact, yeah, although yeah, doing your short stint at the start is still the same thing. If you can get a pit stop done and just use the same set of tyres, so you only have to change tyres once. That's the key. Whatever strategy you employ, it has to involve you only changing tyres once. Two sets of tyre changes, you're going to lose an absolute monster amount of time. To the rest of the field and everyone around you. There's going to be no one around you if you do that. Let's see, Hova still running. So too is Lemon. Steve down at the back of the field after a bit of an incident in his Aston Martin. Quite a while getting repaired, but back out and running. Still behind Garbino and Silva. Silva running down in the 18th position, just having a bit of a wiggle there. Behind the man of the moment, the man of the hour, Chris Gedman. He's 17th place at the minute. Slade and Barnett 15th and 16th. But Warrior in 14th and Smets. Where's Warrior? There he is. And Smet in 13th. We've got Popov in 12th at the minute. Yeah, so Felix and Gunning 11th and 10th. And then it's Wheats in 9th place. Absolutely solid drive. Oh, just does a bit of a wiggle there. Pospisil in 8th. Austell back up to 7th place with Van der Waal in 6th. Postal in 5th currently. But Willie B, when Vidler comes out with the pits, Desire currently in 4th, but that will be 3rd. And Grace will be in 2nd place. Vermeulen will be within 10 minutes of the race win. And Vidler staying out for another lap, even with traffic ahead. Although that is a very quick overtake out in the last corner. Very nicely done by both drivers. Vidler staying out, so yeah, that splash and dash looking absolutely nailed on at the minute. Yeah, absolutely nailed on at the minute. 53 laps done, so not many more laps left to go for the 22 intrepid drivers. here for the FRL 1K milestone. Gedman v Gogs. I tell you what, it's going to be 2 on the podium for Gedman. It was looking like it could have been 3. Oh no, sorry, it will be 3. Of course it will be 3. Yep, my brain is fried with everything that's going on. Yeah, Vidler will drop off the podium, so it is going to be the top 3, if not 4, for Team Gedman. So they are going to be very, very happy with that, I would say. I'm not sure, Gedman might be jumping in for a quick hello. I did try and egg him on a bit into a quick interview. We'll see if he bites. We shall see if he bites. Let's see if Vidler, where is he? He's coming up the Conrod Straight, so no, yeah, approaching the pit lane. With 8 minutes left to go, that splash and dash is on its way. Everything else is looking a bit spread out at the moment. Pospisil within 3.5 seconds, so everyone needs someone else to make a mistake if they're going to gain any positions at this point, I would say. Vidler, is he going to keep us on tender hooks for another lap, or is he finally going to come in and take this pit stop? And let us find out where he is going to come back out, and it doesn't look like he is. That is commitment to the long stint. Another lap out for Vidler. Vermeulen's heading back up the hill. He's been round 54 times already. Got about another 4 to go. So yeah, we're going to get close to 60 laps. We might not quite get 60 laps out of the drivers, but it's going to be very close. That is not too bad. Around Bathurst, that is an absolute nerve shredder. It has to be said. So we'll see if there is any more that drop out as well. We'll have still have 22 when we cross the line. We've had a few drop out, but these 22 have absolutely soldiered on. Vidler up the hill, Grace and Desert, and again that gap definitely going the way of Desert that little bit more. It's now up to going the way of Grace, sorry. It's Desert that is 10.8 seconds down. So Grace getting the strategy absolutely on point and getting the laps in exactly when they needed to. This is a very, very, very solid drive by all 3 on the podium. Slightly more impressive as you work your way up the podium though. So yeah, Desert having a good drive, Grace having a great drive, and Vermeulen certainly a mixed drive, but from a spectator's point of view, absolutely epic drive. An epic race to be had. Given that he was down to 9th place after the first incident, lost the lead again after the second incident, and is now a country mile ahead of the rest of the field. That's him smashing in another lap. It's pretty we don't get to see his lap times at the moment. We'll all get a quick look at them at the end when we get the results up, and we will see what sort of times he's been putting in. And yeah, I've got that ready to go. Just in case we do get Chris in. Where is he running? In fact, let's get a few laps with the man of the hour. Again, he's been an absolute stalwart here at FRL since before Moses. And yeah, I'd imagine he will be here for a lot longer. I don't think it'll be too long before he's hitting 2000. He gets involved in the racing, he gets involved in the organisation. Even last night doing the stream for the picking of the teams. Although we may need a bit of an investigation into that. Actually, no, do we though? They've got 5 of each in the top 10. My apologies, there we go. We're going to have to leave that joke alone because we do have 5 of each in the top 10. So, yeah, that kind of throws that one out the window. But yeah, here he is in the post. Started in 22nd place. And he's made his way up to 17th. And more importantly, he has gotten himself ahead of his rival team captain. So Mr. Brown's boys, their leader, fallen by the wayside, whereas Gedman's goons, their team leader, still absolutely elbows deep in the battle. 20 seconds to make up the Slade. So again, mistakes here or there could see positional changes, but it's unlikely. Vidler still out. Oh, and Gedman spun out of the last corner. Mute the stream. Why do people do this to themselves? Stop listening to the stream and me blowing smoke up your rear end and you want to spin it. It's outrageous. What an ego. Why did you spin it? I was too busy listening to myself. Can. There is absolutely no way I'm taking any credit for cursing the commentator there either. You're not throwing me under the bus for that one. No, 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 good sir. You've got to wear this one all yourself. 3.5 minutes to go. Come on, Chris, you can do it. Over 1,000 races, and unbelievably, he has actually managed to finish a few as well. Incredible, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. We'll see if he can make it to the end. I mean, he's got to make it to the end. Could you imagine if he bins it in the last 3 minutes and doesn't make it to the end of his own race, folks? Eh? Ooh, I'll tell you what. Can we get an F in chat just to preempt that, just in case? No, well, I'm hoping he's listening. I'm trying to wind him up a bit. Gedman was just showing appreciation with a donut. Ah, okay, got ya. I'm a bit peckish myself now. I think I'm going to have a donut after. And when I say a donut, it'll probably just be a biscuit with a hole in it because I don't actually have any donuts at the moment, unfortunately. But Gedman, yeah, dishing out the donuts out on track. Vidler dishing out the long strategy. I tell you what, where is he going to finish up? Because he is still out with only 2.5 minutes left to go. 56 laps done for Mule leading the way. Popov is back in the pit. Some of the drivers that took early stops are having to come back in. And Popov is one of them. Gerbino is another one. Here is Gedman. Now I think, is he a lap? Yep, he's a lap down on Popov. So he's not going to gain back a place there. Just a little bit more pride, eh, Chris? No, 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 no! No, oh my goodness gracious me. Oh, Chris. Honestly, I mean, if I had any kind of decency as a human being, I would watch another driver right now. I really would. But we're going to stay on board with Chris in the Porsche. Of course, it is his race that we are here to celebrate, and he needs to get all the camera time that he can, especially coming through turn 1. He might actually learn how to take turn 1 before the end of the race. It would be not bad at his favourite track over 1,000 races. Be not to get turn 1 at your favourite course. Listen, Chris, we'll all get there eventually. We'll all get there eventually. There's a steeper learning curve for some compared to others. Vidler finally comes into the pits with 1 minute and 16 left to go on the clock. This is going to be a rapid turnaround in the pits. Grace is going to retake second, and Desire is going to retake third. As Vidler slowly crawls towards the pit, and I tell you what, he's going to get back out in fourth. He is going to hold on to fourth place. Postel is still tearing down the hill. There is Desire Grace confirmed through, and Vidler, look at that, how is that for a splash and dash? Boom, in and out again, and Vidler back out and will take fourth position where they started. So absolutely solid drive by the top 4. I mean, solid drive by everyone to get to the end, let's face it. Pospisil and Austell, that gap's down to 1.7 seconds. While we might see overtakes here, Gerbino is still in the pits. Gedman is still out with the walls. Excellent stuff. He's kept the Porsche out with the walls for the majority of this lap. Good to see. Literally throwing shade for no reason. And we've got 13 seconds left, and I think this is going to be very close. I think Vermeulen's about to take the checker flag here. This very much looks like it could be the last lap. It is indeed. The timer is going to expire just out with the last corner. Vermeulen is going to cross the line after 58. After 56 laps of sheer perfection, and 2 with a bit of a wonky error to see him dropping down the order, but it did not slow him down at all. Fast pole position in qualifying, fastest lap in the race, and the race win it is. The Holy Trinity for Vermeulen up at the front of the field. Grace coming along the Conrod Straight with Desire just exiting on the Conrod Straight as well. Will take second and third, so it's going to be an all Gedman podium. Certainly won't have Gedman on it, of course, but it will be an all Team Gedman podium at the end of the competition. Which is great to see. It's good to see he's actually won it. I was kind of cracking jokes earlier, but yeah, it's good to see that his team won it for him. There is Grace. Coming around the last corner, and that is a very good race by Grace. Solid strategy as well. Absolutely solid strategy to bring home that second, and there is Desire finishing in third, followed by Vidler. Great race by Vidler as well. Lead finisher for Team Gogs. Vidler taking the checkered flag in fourth place. It is then Postel. Van der Waal and Ostel have already received their checkered flag, along with Pospisil, Wheats, Gunning, Felix and Smets. Let's see, so in the top 10 at the end, it was 5 each for Team Gedman and Team Gogs. Gedman featuring in the top 20, and I think it does by virtue, unless we round it up, I think we could get an average of the number of average points for the number of drivers that are in for Team Gogs. So it works out at 12 each. There we go. A little bit of Fast and the Furious. He's styling out the end of the lap. 2 wheels on the grass. Is there no end to this man's talents? Flashing of the lights. To no doubt thank everyone for taking part, and a big thank you to FRL on behalf of Chris. He is, I guarantee you, he's loved every minute of being here, and there will be many, 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 many more to come. He's been an absolute pleasure when I've worked with him in the past. He is an ongoing pleasure as well, and he is a fellow Scotsman. What's not to like? I mean, come on, really? But yeah, that is Gedman across the line, and there we can see, as if there was any doubt at all, Vermeulen with the win, Grace and Desire second and third, Vidler in fourth with Postel in fifth position, Van der Waal in sixth with Ostel in seventh, Pospisil in eighth, and Wheats in the top 10 in ninth place, Gunning in 10th position. Felix and Smeets 11th and 12th with Warrior and Barnett at 13th and 14th. Popov back out with the pits late in the race, finishing in 15th position. Slade in 16th with Chris Gedman in 17th position. Silva in 18th with Steve in 19th. Garbino in 20th position. Lemon and Horvath 21st and 22nd. Horvath should win driver of the day for his class. And then a few drivers not able to finish. Feist, Tierney, Bleach, Els, Wazer, Trotman, Brown, Christie, Sharp, and that guy that can't drive right down at the bottom of the grid. Oh yeah, that is me. Fun times. But yeah, that was very, very, very good fun. We'll jump back to the studio and we'll see if Gedman is jumping into the comms box. Yeah, that was a very good race. Danzo in UFC. Mine's gone totally blank. Let me see if I can figure out who that is. Oh, and in fact, let me just make sure I quickly grab the replay as well, just in case they're needing it. Oh. Sorry, all the technical fun of the fair. I don't think we're getting Chris in, but yeah, listen, thank you to everyone that has taken part tonight. It does mean a lot to Chris for everyone to do so, and I tell you what, it's, as I say it again, it's been an, don't tell him I said any of this, but it's always been a massive pleasure working with FRL, and especially Chris. He is an absolute gem of a human being. And yeah, it's good to see him being honoured in such a way with his own special 2-hour race at his favourite track. So good to see. And of course, drivers getting Driver of the Day rewards with post-race votes on tiered drivers that attend the event. So make sure you get yourself into the Discord and you can get your vote in and have your voice heard. Bless me, and yeah, help decide who wins one of the prizes. That is all we've got time for this evening, though, folks. Thank you to everyone that tuned in to see the real racing. Forget that Formula 1 stuff, and honour An absolute legend here in FRL. It's been a pleasure to bring you all of the action and hopefully see you all again very, very, very soon indeed. Don't forget to get over to the FRL Discord, Formula Racing League, on Discord and SimGrid, and get signed up to one of the many, many, many phenomenal races that they've got running across multiple platforms and games. So, yeah, get yourself involved. Until then, though, that is all we've got time for this evening. So do enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.